It ended up not being the case. We take a look at our map rotation. Actually, Zero Down is done and dusted. We won't see it again, at least for match B. But we got Brakkesh coming up, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Here we go. Our first Mandelbrick round, the first opportunity to steal it for themselves. Fortune, as you said, favors the bold. Who will be the boldest to take the first Mandelbrick of match number B? Doing so could put yourself in the upper bracket right away.
Brakkesh, baby, that Tower of Babel stands tall. We'll see who gets to stand tall in this round. ESG, will they strike with a vengeance or will they be on their heels, man? I am so pumped to watch this game. And all of our players load in. Let's take a look at our priority spawns. Mandelbrick Addiction get a T1 spawn around camp. You see ISG also get a T1 spawn all around Museum. Both of those two teams sprinting for Museum to try to get a power position around this Mandelbrick. ESG way up in the northwestern side of the map, up in Cherrytown, where over on the right-hand side, you got LEG, Legit Brazil, around Asara camp. And of course, that means it leaves the final two teams, MG and Inc., down in the Tower of Babel.
Tower of Babel is always going to be a lot of fun to watch, but my attention goes to NBA, right, as well as ISG fighting for the initial early Mandelbrick, which will be coming up in just about 2 minutes. For NBA, this is a big round for them to take. They fought so well and hard throughout game number 1, giving them the opportunity to lock the AWM in. Losing this would be a massive setback as far as I'm concerned. But Skydee is that guy that can make anything happen. He was the MVP for round number 1, and rightly so. He was popping heads with the AWM, long shots with the LMG. He was getting active any chance he could. But Uvalier, now back on the map. Of course, he was the first one to extract a little bit earlier.
Okay, quick look on the left-hand side of your screen. Obviously, our team at the top deciding to expend some of their cash and get some great loot coming into the map. You see a nice modicum of different weapon choices across the board, but let's talk briefly about some operators. We see a couple more Alurus this time around, 3 to be exact, I believe, from ESG, NBA, and of course Inc. picking up Aluru as an operator of choice. Again, we have advanced 1 patch from our regional finals, so the Aluru buff has come through. Absolutely an operator that most of these teams prefer. Got about 60 seconds, by the way, on that Mandelbrick timer before you can be picked up. So we'll continue to pay attention to that. Other team comps I'm paying attention to, obviously, we've got a big recon operator forward comp from ISG, Luna, Hatclaw, and then Toxic. There's a little bit of a support there to play with this trio. Watch out for that squad in this one. Other than that, fairly standard. And again, if you didn't watch Group A, Tempest also a part of this patch. So we see our first Tempest already in game 2, and all of a sudden, we see our first death, or at least knock. ISG loses 2 in this fight. NBA is unstoppable already. 2 down. Incendiary grenades do knock 1, and there's the cleanup. It is a 3v1 around this Mandelbrick spawn. It is available to be grabbed, but ISG is just trying to stay alive.
Well, they got to be careful here because NBA is pushing full speed ahead, but Ghost finds a nice angle. It will be snipped out. I cannot believe Skydee hits that shot. I thought for certain Ghost was at least going to get 1 down, but he doesn't even get that. Mandelbrick is up for grab. You know what? Museum actually isn't fully grabbed from NBA's perspective. A new challenger has approached, and that's going to be LEG, the team that got the first knock on ESG in round 1, looking to make more impactful plays in round 2.
Yeah, Legit Brazil, they were over in Asara camp, and they're like, hey, we want a piece of this action. We heard shots. That's the signal flare to third party. Fortunately, the party started and then ended quite early. ISG, out of this lobby, will not be able to play for this first brick. And Legit Brazil, the only team standing in the way of Mandelbrick Addiction, making a play for that Mandelbrick. And it does look like LEG actually have an overwatch position over the top of this Mandelbrick. If NBA is going to take this brick, they're going to have to shoot first at LEG.
They did exactly that just a little bit earlier against ISG. That was absolutely brutal. LEG looks to be moving in, and that's going to be big for them. MG also rotating around potentially to cut off LEG, who decides to run away with the Mandelbrick. This is going to be a big move. LEG, I like it. They're obviously wanting this for themselves. Question is, will MG cut them down?
Fortune, does it favor the bold? Here we go. A bold team, Legit Brazil. Grab the brick and begin to run. Obviously some nice advantages and some disadvantages to having the brick, and all of a sudden Legit Brazil, they actually strike first. Boldo going down from Mandelbrick Addiction in a bit of trouble in a 2v3 without power position. Not a full yet, so could potentially go for the revive if he can crawl to safety. Again, with the Mantle Brick, you all know this. You play pubs, you probably picked one up yourself. There is a threat level on the Mantle Brick if you're carrying it. So it tells you how close some of your competition is. He's able to crawl to theoretical safety and gets picked up by his teammate to go for the revive. Skydie's going to be holding this window angle as it looks like one member of LEG skates off, and they're just trying to protect this Mantle Brick.
Of course, MG just below them in the south. They rolled up, but they haven't decided to challenge just yet.
Also a huge factor here. LEG, they started in camp. They started on a decoding station and they left. They know for almost certain fact, not 100% certain, but almost certain fact that the camp decoding station is going to be open. That is where they are headed if they can get there for free.
Well, they're going to definitely try. Luckily, they've kept their distance away from MG. Update, by the way, on NBA, they have managed to get their third back into the fight, so they're going to be a full-fledged unit, an opportunity to re-challenge this LEG fight. LEG has made it to camp. Like you said, it's free and clear, and it absolutely is. They're going to manage to plop down the Mantle Brick and start working their way towards the potential first Mantle Brick grab. It's now being decoded. They've got to hold on for 4 minutes, but they know the competition is inbound. MG, NBA, most likely going to work their way up. If I had to guess, those are going to be the only two teams truly to challenge. I haven't noticed ESG move. Inc. also hasn't moved as well. Inc. is relatively far away. So before ESG or Inc. even get involved, most likely it's going to be MG trying their luck first.
Yeah, and again, I mean, there's plenty of time. 3.5 minutes is a long time in Delta Force operations. But you're totally right. This is going to be the first fight. Just a matter of who takes the first shot. Both teams know that there's another team in the area. You saw them smoking and running. Throwing the drones up from Toxic as well. Didn't connect, but absolutely had info. Legit Brazil already stunning some folks that didn't know about this team. Started out strong in Zero Dam. Now they've grabbed the first brick and starting the first decode. MG playing patient. There's really no rush with 3 minutes on this decoding.
Not at all.
And NBA, a lot of the same. I think NBA wants to make sure that they're not going to get third or fourth partied from behind by maybe a team like ESG or anybody else as they move through the market and up through the north side, as your town is probably their best position. You'll see them they were briefly on the mini-map there in pink. There they are on our screen right now. They're playing the north side of this decoding station. MG's playing the south side of this decoding station, and LEG, of course, protecting it means that LEG is going to get sandwiched.
Yep.
If they, on accident or maybe on purpose, sandwich this team at the same time, LEG is going to be up for the pickings, and it's one of these other two teams who's going to come out on top.
You would think LEG might be in a little bit of trouble here. MG starts to move up. Luckily, though, HF has laid down some cover fire and is keeping the pressure on. MG doesn't feel necessarily comfortable in this spot. NBA hears the shots, maybe an opportunity for them to continue to press forward and third party this engagement, which is what they're ultimately going to be banking on. Still plenty of time, no reason to rush with 1 minute and 50 seconds on hand. LEG will back away, and it looks like we are in fact going to have NBA starting to encroach onto the space of LEG as well. So it's going to remain tense, but nobody's down just yet.
See the value, by the way, the oppressive nature of an operator like D-Wolf. That triple blaster just zones an area off for a while, especially if you can actually draw some damage with it. All right, we said no cause for concern with 3 minutes on the clock, or 3.5. We're now nearing 60 seconds. Somebody's got to make a move, and everybody knows it. Everybody's got the timer, and all of a sudden, LEG actually strikes first. It was MG trying to go for the steal. An errant player, Onigiri, the first down. Not a full, crawling around, but this could be the signal flare for NBA to try to make a play. But I really like LEG's position. They're playing the low side of the stairs. It's going to be very difficult to rip them out, but they could smoke, they could run, and they could move as a full team of 3. Skydie's going to play entry man. Skydie's going to maybe go for the steal. No, going to go for the play. He's getting shot from multiple angles. We got two teams shooting at the same time, but Skydie gets one and pulls one. LEG on their heels. LEG will not be able to protect it. NBA steals it and are able to get out with all 3 up. They just wanted to reset the timer. Perfect steal. Now they're going to back up, slow down. A big take from them, somehow not getting punished for it. MG almost there, but they were going for the revive.
And now you have NBA who's already disengaged. LEG still in the area, but Inc. has also moved up into the fight. You've got 4 distinct teams looking to take the Mantle Brick for themselves. Now there is plenty of time, right? It got a little bit scary for the other rosters. I thought maybe LEG was going to be able to hold on to it. There's less than a minute left after all, but a great play from NBA will shut that down. And you're right, you're spot on, right? NBA at this point, they just wanted to go for the reset. At this point now, they're just maybe just going to fill it out, see what happens, who's going to be the next one to get the touch.
4 teams of the 6 sitting here around the station, but a nice find. NBA find one, don't get the full though, and almost lose their life because of it. There are 4 teams battling for this decoding station. ESG, the only alive team that is not here. And LEG down 1 single player, but plenty of time on the clock. And I think you're gonna see them here shortly. Watch that mini map. We are about to have a battle for this decoding station with 5 teams. LEG is able to get the revive.
5 teams. It's getting contested for sure. ESG, when they join the fold, it's going to continue to get wild. 2 minutes on the clock. NBA still decoding, but Inc. LEG looking to retake it back for themselves. Of course, you throw in MG in that equation. Nobody wants to move too quickly in the moment. Everybody knows this is a dangerous place to be. And there's really no distinct strat on how you can get in there, honestly. And it's going to come down to a point like what we just witnessed from NBA, where they just had to full send it.
I really like NBA's position. They obviously have a powerful position here, and they've got the decoding station. The fact that NBA's got the most northern side of this decoding station, without anybody on their back, NBA's in the best spot. Inc. feels like they're in a nice spot on the south side, nobody on their back, but what they don't know probably is that ESG is on their way. However, MG's actually striking first, Killzall taken down, Inc. in a bit of trouble. This could be the signal flare for ESG to come get involved from the backside, from the south, and now is 60 seconds on the clock. MG, yes, they've knocked one from Inc., but they've got to make a play for this decoding station if they want a chance for this break. They don't even need to full take it. They don't need to win all the gunfights. They just need a steal to reset this timer and have a chance at this mantle break. But LEG thinking a lot of the same.
Yeah, and it's going to be Skydee. The tip of the spear, right, taken down player after player. Marino is going to be gone from the side of LEG. Skydee, still plenty of health that's going to be remaining. We're down to just 30 seconds. NBA holding on tight. MG tries to move up, and another player is going to be down. NBA could be able to do this.
Off screen, ESG is also fighting Inc. Everybody battling for this decoding station, but NBA is holding on. The last remaining player of LEG is able to knock Skydee. This could be a window of opportunity for somebody to sneak up and go for this steal. 15 seconds on the clock, and it's Onigiri. Failed the first time. Can he succeed the second time? 10 seconds on the clock. LEG just trying to steal. LEG goes for it. LEG, can I stick it? LEG fails. LEG resets. LEG will likely fall here shortly, but he gets the steal. He's able to stay alive. Off screen, Inc. is getting cleaned up by ESG, but LEG just saved the game for everyone, including somehow himself.
Incredible performance, but it's not done. ESG, they've worked their way all the way down from the new Tower of Babel all the way up, and they looked potentially might be in prime position to steal this. In fact, the only healthy roster is going to be NBA at this point. Skydee was dropped, but he gets back onto his feet. So most likely, we could see this conclude with ESG versus NBA, but let's not forget LEG with the solo. Maybe, just maybe, he makes some magic happen. MG with 2, that's still enough to make something possible.
MG, ESG, Inc., before they fell, are all praising the heroics of LEG. The solo remaining player that just went in to reset the timer. Hope something happens for them. NBA has easily retaken it, which will reset our timer again. Every time it's stolen, the timer will be reset, but 30 seconds faster this time. We're down to only 2.5 minutes on the reset timer. If it gets stolen again, it will go to 2 minutes. Watch our game clock as well. I can't imagine it'll become a huge factor, but it absolutely could with this amount of players still alive. I love this aerial cam view to see what's going on. Look, actually, one player of ESG
is on the flank. He's been flanking for a while.
Huge flank. He's playing on this way backside. Potentially get some info for his team, or maybe open up the backside and maybe grab one member of NBA. See what ESG is able to do, and you can actually see, look at the mini-map here, ESG is going to go join their route man. The flank becomes the full frontal push. They're going to swing up the north side of this alleyway and go play for the backside of NBA.
Yeah, pretty early on, Fujang took that off angle. He stayed put. He's been scouting the horizons. ESG looks as if they want to join him, but Fujang He's going to go by himself, and this is big because NBA has been staying put where they're currently at. Nobody's been successful in pushing them off. But for one player from ESG, LEG looks to take him down with the off angle. He goes for the commitment. Shots are fired, but now you kind of regret your decision. You're out in the open, you gave away your position, and you didn't get the full elimination on ESG, and now there's going to be 2 looking your way.
Yeah, somebody had spotted him. I don't think it was ESG. You saw the Aluru missile come over the top, so he's been spotted, but I don't know that DT knew exactly where he was at. Again, let's pay attention to our timer. There's 60 seconds on the clock.
And NBA gets knocked on to MG, by the way. Bonnie's down and gone.
Yeah, MG had been down that player for a while, and they were protecting that body well, so you're right. Able to get that knock and then full and then keep the body is a huge boon. MG 100% down to 2, and they can't get their third back. But all hell's about to break loose here, Taylor. We've got 2 teams remaining that are fully alive, and all of a sudden LEG, their solo finally killed.
That's right. You got the solo from ESG. It's going to be Fujang who's going to be going on the flank, and he has
There we
just
go.
enough time to do it. NBA has held on for an eternity, and they have 20 seconds to continue to do it. But Fujang is going to be coming in for the flank. ESG is going to be going for the front side. That's going to be a couple of downs. MG, though, is going to manage to take down 2 from ESG. Just 9 seconds remaining. NBA on the precipice of decoding the Mando brick. NBA Scotty takes down DT, fully gone. Fujang from the flank is going to manage to get a couple, but he can't get on, and NBA is going to manage to get the Mando brick extracted. They fought tooth and nail. Fujang capitalized off the flank. ESG will stand, but the Mando brick will go to NBA.
Holy cow. Mando brick addiction. They get the Mando brick, and they lose their lives after the timer hits 0. Fujang comes up from the backside and wipes a full team of 3 before they can even react. But Mandel bricks are key, and Mandel brick addiction have grabbed the first one just in the nick of time.
Just in the nick of time, indeed. I mean, it came down to seconds. Fujang on that flank. You could tell he was going to be destructive. You could tell he was going to make an impact. But the question was, would he make the impact in time for the Mandel brick? And the answer, as we know now, is no.
Good grief.
Is no, but still a great effort. But NBA, to hold their position how they did for as long as they, and mind you, also get the reset a little bit earlier off of LEG. Like, come on.
Dude, this was a crazy. We're in map 2, man. I feel like we're in map 6 already. That took years off my life. A 5-team fight for the decoding station. It changes hands 10 times. And again, I always say this, Mana Brick Addiction, they struggled in the regional finals.
Now, look
but
at them
they
now.
have something that others don't. They are so good at playing these positions, understanding who's on the map, and playing for this decoding station. What was so impressive about this team was they were able to play the north side. They recognized the north side was free immediately, and they held the north side the entire time. ESG picked up on it finally. It was just a hair too late, and they had to go through that one spoiler player that was LEG, the last remaining player of Legit Brazil.
Yep.
If that Legit Brazil player is not there, ESG had a free route to kill all of NBA. That was wild.
That is wild indeed. We said it, look. When it came to Group Stage A, they brought the action. They set the tone. Group Stage B needed to match it. That was probably one of the most exciting Mandel Brick rounds we have seen yet. Well done to NBA. From round 1 to round 2, they refused to budge, and now that much closer to going to the upper bracket as it stands. So, I mean, look, we could have a world where we have 2 EU teams directly into finals.
Crazy stuff thus far. You're right. Mana Brick Addiction, they're trying to earn their spot to upper bracket, and getting a Mantle Brick has put them in a really strong position to be able to do that. It's not often that a team can get a Mantle Brick and not be a top 3 team.
Right.
It is technically possible because we have 4 Mantle Brick rounds, but it is highly unlikely. Mana Brick Addiction's got to be feeling fantastic right now.
Absolutely.
While this map wraps up, can we pay attention to the left-hand side of our screen? Obviously, ESG, they come in, they clean up. They had this, again, not a great spawn for them. They're way up in Cherrytown, can't really get involved in the action. They then wrap all the way around the south side of the map. They wrap all the way through Tower of Babel. They go over the reservoir, and they will come all the way down. I mean, they literally ran the whole map.
It has been a lot.
And they're able to be the last team standing as well.
Right,
So you can see that they're at 5.1 mil right now. If they can get out of the map, or a couple of them can get out of the map, huge boon for them.
Still big.
And they picked up a ton of kills. In terms of loot value, you should see ESG probably leap to the top is what I'm guessing. Of course, underneath, Mana Brick Addiction, who just got that Mana Brick.
Yeah.
So it does look like we saw a little picture there. We've got one player sprinting for the North Extract. We've got one player sprinting for, I believe, the Tower of Babel Extract, since they have the ID tags. And then our third player, DT, maybe is going to just stack up everything in their safe box to make sure they can get as much as they can. There we do. We do see one player of the north side of the map get out via the extraction point on the north side of Grand Hammam. So a great shout to Liu Yin, who was able to get out of the map. And then here's the extraction in the Tower of Babel as well with an ID tag, I assume, as Fujiang, who was the hero of this team,
Yes.
was able to get out of here with a couple ID tags. See you later. Out of the map. And DT's just trying to stack that safe box for the last 10 seconds.
I mean, still a very successful round from ESG. You got to give them credit where credit is due. Well done. And I mean, yeah, in the end, 834,000.
Yeah, DT finds a 834,000 item in the last 10 seconds.
Last 5.
What are we cooking? Talking about some nice RNG and a great find for that team. ESG going to leapfrog up near the top of the leaderboard, but it is all Mana Brick Addiction.
Yes.
A crazy match, too.
Insane.
Probably, like you said, one of the most action-packed maps we've ever seen. 5 teams around that decoding station trading blows, and ESG, the last team remaining, but Mana Brick Addiction, the team that gets the brick. And it's double brick match point format, baby.
That's
you
it.
got the first one. They're already on match point after 2 games.
They can get it in 4, which would be special. We're highlighting ESG at the very start, and we still are, but Mana Brick Addiction looks to be the #1 team so far. Well, they are, excuse me, but I mean, in terms of this this match, be just blown away by their performance. I'm not gonna lie, like I was excited to watch them, but I didn't expect them to be as dominant as they currently are. They were clearly doing their homework. They've done it. They've improved as much as they possibly can, and I am just through the roof. Well done. 5 teams, again, to go back, 5 teams fighting for the Mana Brick. We've seen 2, I think maybe 3 at most from Match A, never 5. And if the 6 was alive, of course, they would have went in themselves, right? But that was NBA who ended up wiping them out super early. It was ISG.
Now I'm a Tempest super fan. This guy is really showing how to play this operator. Here's a look at the the round 2 results across the board. Mana Brick Addiction, they didn't end up getting out with very much. 0.65, whatever, but they do pick up 5 kills. That's 2 mil, by the way. 400K per kill times 5. You got the math, 2 mil added, which will put them near the top of overall round earnings. But the key factor, I almost forgot about it because so much was going on towards the latter half of the map. They get the Mana Brick in the first, 8 minutes of the entire map, and they're able to play so much more after that. So a huge boon, and they pump out the most damage, barely surpassing Killsaw, doing the majority of the damage from Ink. And one more note about that final fight. Not only was that perfect execution, but Skydie getting both of those players weak, he was able to clean them up one after the other with a couple bullets just in the nick of time before they got out of the map. Very cool stuff. I think if he gets one of them down earlier, I don't think he actually picks up 2 in time. Mana Brick Addiction, the top team, frankly, in the tournament thus far, but definitely the best team in this last round.
Yes.
Not a ton of loot, but a Mana Brick plus kills is a huge boon for them. I can only imagine it's one of these players as the MVP. And as expected, Skydie said, watch me play Tempest. I'm not going to tell you all my strategy, but here's a piece of it. And there it is, Tempest on screen and Skydie on screen. Had a chance to interview him, and now he's showcasing why he's one of the best.
Yeah, Skydie's got the damage dealt on lock. Nearly 1,000, 4.0 KD, and he's doing a lot of that by simply just pushing forward as the Tempest, as you mentioned, but being the tip of the spear. Like, yes, he's got help from his teammates, but Skydie is oftentimes being the initiator